Okay, the next video here is going to deal with how to create your attack bonuses and values that you'll need when you're in combat, right? And so here we have a paladin right here. It's on page of the player's handbook 82. And so the paladin, it's important as you go through and create and choose your character that you read through everything that a paladin or any other character that you have and class, the information pertaining to them and all about them. But a lot of the information you'll see in this format here, it's usually within a page or two of the beginning, which is class features. And this tells you, the hit dice, which is what you roll to determine how many hit points your character can take before they die. Also their proficiencies. And this is what you can use to help determine your saving throws, your armor, your weapons, and what skills you have, right? Whether you can add your proficiency modifier and your bonus and your proficiency bonus together. What we're going to deal with right now are your attack bonuses, right? So if you look at the character sheet, you notice there's this square down here, right? It has the name of the weapon you're going to use, the attack bonus, and the damage that this weapon does. And so a paladin, if you look over here, a paladin is proficient in all armor and shields, which means that any kind of armor that you have, you can add the +2 proficiency to its protective value. This tells you the type of equipment that they're proficient in, right? So you look down here and it tells you that for weapons, they're martial weapon and a shield or 2 martial weapons, 5 javelins or any simple melee weapon. And then it tells you what kind of packs. We'll get into that later. And also, you have chainmail and a holy symbol. These are all things that are part of who your character is when you start the adventure. And you can choose, right? You can either choose a martial weapon and a shield adds to your armor class as well. It'll tell you how much. Or 2 martial weapons, and then it tells you if you have javelins or a simple melee weapon, right? And so we want to find out about these weapons. So we're going to go in the book to the weapons page, right? And this tells you the different types of weapons here, right? And so if we go back here, it tells you that for his weapons, he has simple weapons or martial weapons. So we're going to look here, and we have simple melee weapons, simple ranged weapons, simple melee weapons, right? And then martial ranged weapons. So what we are concerned right here is a martial. This is a big hitter, right? A martial weapon. And melee, by the way, just means to battle, right? And so Simon's character here, Bodrick, right? If we look at it, he's chosen a warhammer, right? And a warhammer is a martial weapon, right? Let's go down here, martial weapons, warhammer, right? It tells you how much it costs if you want to buy it and you don't have it. It tells you what kind of damage it does and how heavy it is. And then versatile means you can use it with 1 hand or 2 hands, right? It tells you, the damage, which is 1d10 if you're doing it with 2 hands, 1d8 with 1 hand. And you can decide that about what your character is going to do. So we're going to record some of this information here, right? So we're going to do a warhammer. And so we write warhammer here. Now the attack bonus is, since he's proficient in this, it's +3 because it's based on strength, right? So he has a +3 for strength, plus he's proficient in it. So this should be a +5. So I'm actually going to change this to a +5. Right? Because not only is, not only is he proficient in it, in which case he's able to add his strength modifier and his proficiency together, right? So it's a strength modifier plus proficiency, +5. A hand axe is a simple melee weapon, and he's proficient in that as well, right? His character right, if we go back here, it tells you what he's proficient in, right? Proficiencies, and it says, equipment. 2 martial weapons, a martial weapon, 2 martial weapons, simple melee weapon, right? So he's proficient in that. So a hand axe, let's look at a hand axe down here. So that would be a simple melee weapon, right? A hand axe. Oh, I'm sorry, we also down here, we want to add the damage. And so that's 1d8 bludgeoning damage, because the type of damage matters depending on who you're fighting. But since it's versatile, he's put down that's a D10. So if he's versatile means you can use it in one hand or two hands. But obviously the damage from two hands will be worse than one hand. So they've added, so you say you hit somebody, you can roll a D8 to see how much damage you do. If you're using one hand, you can roll a D10 to see how much damage you do to the opponent if you're using two hands. Hand axe, he's proficient with too. That's a versatile. That's not strength. That's based on dexterity because it's a simple melee weapon. So that's based on dexterity. So he gets to add 1. But since he's proficient in it, he should add the proficiency bonus, which is +3. Right? It's a 1d6, and it says. So if we go look here and look at hand axe, right? It's a 1d6 slashing. And he can throw it as well. So it's a range from 20 to 60 feet, right? So he can do a couple of different things with it. But you want to put this is where you put down. So say you're in a battle and you say, okay, I'm going to use my hand axe and I'm going to use it with, in one hand, and I'm going to use my warhammer in battle against this guy. So you roll it and say you hit them, you're able to hit that character. Then you take a D8 and you roll it, and so you could get anywhere from 1 to 8 damage points on that character that you're fighting. So this is important that you put the information down here for all of the weapons that you have on hand so that you don't have to keep going back and forth with researching as you do it.